Maybe, and I feel like, right. I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a judge, so I can't get in.
I really do. And if it's not, why you can't prove me?
That's his son.
You think that's his son?
Yeah. First of all, JC offered him money. At first he offered him bread, like, and everything, but his aunt didn't, like, approve of it.
What if the crown jewel of hip-hop has been running from a single cotton swab for 3 decades? Imagine the silence that hangs over billion-dollar boardrooms when someone whispers, "What if Jay-Z has a secret firstborn?" Since 2010, man Rymir Satterthwaite has chased that question across courthouses, radio stations, and internet rabbit holes, refusing to quit until DNA wipes away every rumor. He's not looking for a payout. He's looking for a name to put on his own. Children's birth certificates, a story to tell them that doesn't begin with a blank space.
That's his son.
You think that's his son?
Yeah. First of all, JC offered him money. At first he offered him bread, like, and everything, but his aunt didn't, like, approve of it. She said, no, Jay-Z got a lien on her house, all type of shit that was going on. The lady put up paperwork and everything with his name on it and all that. I mean, but young boy's so thorough though. He just wanted dad. He not trying to get no money. He not trying to do none of that. But something happened to him, and I was like, yo, that sound kind of.
The rumor's roots stretch back to a sticky Jersey summer in 1992, when Wanda Satterthwaite, 16,
out of driver's ed.
class-crossed paths with a hustler named Sean Carter, 22 and already half-famous in Brooklyn ciphers. 9 months later, she gave birth to Rymir for safety or shame. She listed her high school sweetheart on the certificate instead of the rising rapper who'd soon crown himself Hov. Years passed, secrets festered, and one deathbed confession sent a teenager on a collision course with the music industry's silent fortress. Jay-Z built an empire on mastering leverage contracts, catalogs, champagne deals, but leverage has a funny way of evaporating when somebody asks for a cheek swab. Lawyers answered every petition with a procedural sidestep. Wrong venue, wrong defendant, wrong paperwork. Judges shrugged, stamped, dismissed, and moved on. Yet each technical victory only amplified public suspicion, because innocence rarely needs hiding. The longer the billionaire dodged the lab, the louder the internet whispered that something must be buried under all that money.
Where? He said he was coming out from work, going to work, and there was a gun in his car. Like when he opened the door, he seen the gun. He said he went to go, like, call his man, like, yo, did you leave a gun in my car? His man's like, no. He said, why you on the phone talking to his man? The cops pull up and lock him up. He said, he told the cops, no, that's not my gun. He's like, so he went in the building he was in, and they seen that somebody pulled up and put the guns in his car.
Oh.
And pulled off. I said, bro, I don't know nobody in the hood that got guns to just waste like that to do that. I don't know what. He's like, yeah, so like Jay-Z had a gag order against him, like trying to get a gag order and trying to. If my thing is, if this is not my son, I'll just take a test, get over with.
For every dismissal, another allegation surfaced: intimidation in parking lots, unmarked envelopes, gag-order drafts that never quite made it to filing cabinets. Bloggers posted grainy side-by-side photos, same jawline, same stubborn eyes, same half-smirk that has sold out stadiums. Talk radio hosts asked the question bluntly: is ROC Nation protecting a brand or protecting a lie? And why would a man who rapped "I got 99 problems," but refuse the simplest solution to make problem, 100, disappear?
Do you believe wholeheartedly that Jay's your father?
I really do. And if it's not, why you can't prove me wrong? Like, it's not far as a proving me wrong thing. It's go to the courtroom and basically do what everybody else would have to do. Like, it's not, you don't have to prove me wrong. I just want the truth.
Rymir's calm burned hotter than anger. He stood on courthouse steps, repeating the same line to every microphone. He didn't want money, he wanted acknowledgement. That composure eroded the narrative that he was chasing a payout. After all, nobody litigates for 15 years, racks up 5 dismissals, survives a planted pistol, and keeps asking for nothing but a lab report unless they believe their blood will speak. Asterisk.
Honestly, I can take a no. I can take, if I'm embarrassed at the end of the day, I can take that. I really can. I've been through a lot, I've seen a lot. I could take me being embarrassed. Like, this can't take nobody not saying.
The silence finally cracked in 2025 when the New Jersey Supreme Court ordered Jay-Z to submit DNA within 90 days or explain under oath why the laws of genetics shouldn't apply to him. TMZ parked outside ROC Nation, TikTok launched the hashtag Take the Test Challenge, and Netflix executives quietly drafted pitches for a docuseries before the results even printed. Beyonce's team, caught in crossfire, braced for a storm that could stain her flawless brand with headlines she never authored.
Never try to contact me in any type of way, and that's all I'm asking. Is like, cause I honestly really want the case to be over with. Like, I've been going through, just like I said, a lot, and as I said, I'm not chasing nobody. I'm not trying to do this to make somebody seem like a bad person, a bad father. I'm not trying to make nobody seem like a bad person or nothing. I'm just really coming out here for the truth. I don't want no money or anything. I wasn't looking for none of that. I just want to know the truth. And if I can't go to the courts and get the truth, like, what is it really? Why are you? What is it? I just really want it over. It's something that's really affecting my life, and I just want it over with.
Court watchers compared the standoff to a heavyweight bout where one fighter keeps ducking behind the referee. Jay-Z's lawyers fired back, labeling the suit a decades-long harassment campaign. They reminded reporters that earlier judges had tossed the case, conveniently omitting that no judge ever weighed a strand of hair or a saliva swab. Public opinion, hungry for spectacle, tilted toward the underdog who had nothing to lose and a lineage to gain.
Baby, I feel like, right now I feel like I got a bigger fight. This is part of my life, so I won't stop fighting for, the paternity or anything else. Whatever I put my mind to, I fully go. I was hoping that it wasn't true, but if it is, honestly.
10 days before the scheduled collection, Rymir live-streamed from a dim kitchen, 3 kids giggling off camera. He vowed to accept any result, but warned the system was on trial alongside the superstar, because if money can outmaneuver biology, what hope does truth have in a cheaper case?
You cannot do things like that. You will get what you deserve. I don't know what them guys was thinking. I don't know what he was thinking. If it's true, only he can respond and get himself out of it.
On collection day, fluorescent lab lights reflected off sterile tiles while a courier sealed 2 vials labeled #A and #B. Signatures lining the chain of custody like guardrails against tampering. A lone protester held cardboard that read DNA equals destiny. It trended before the courier's car merged onto I-95.
And get fair due process. They just been, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a judge, so I can't get in there and actually know fully what's going on. I'm only there to, say what I believe in, and you guys can put me on the lie detector test, anything else you want me to do. I always been here to stand on the truth. I told them if it was wrong, I'm a man, I can apologize, but for me to go in there and ask for fair due process and not get it, and they just throw you all around like you're a rag doll, I just find that to be crazy, and I really think we need to change that. Like, it's craziness.
While the samples sequenced, analysts debated retroactive child support estimates. Brand consultants tallied sponsorship risks, and Reddit sleuths slowed Beyonce's vocals to hunt cryptic confessions. Rymir logged off social media and took his kids to the park, choosing seesaws over speculation. The quiet said more than any tweet.
I'm not asking for nothing. I've always been on here. I wasn't never asking for nothing. People can say what they want. As I said, I work, I'm doing great. I gotta take care of my kids. Like, I'm driving a nice car, I'm getting nice income. So it's not like I never been here asking for nothing or trying to get 15 minutes of fame. So people just gotta realize that these court systems and these people that's out here and controlling these people that's in the court systems, we need to change it, because if we can't go and get fair due process, what are we all paying taxes and all this?
While the vials chilled in a lab refrigerator, the outside world went thermonuclear. Cable talk shows devoted entire hours to Paternity Gate, splicing Rymir's Instagram clips between vintage Jay-Z interviews, hunting for microscopic tells. A London bookmaker opened live betting 3-1 that the test would come back positive and within 6 hours had to suspend wagers because the handle was larger than some Premier League matches. Investment analysts flagged ROC Nation bonds as watchlist assets. One streaming service quietly swapped Jay-Z face shots for stylized silhouettes in promotional banners, just in case. TikTok teens wrote breakup skits casting Beyonce as a heroine walking away from a cheating king, while deepfake artists stitched Rymir's features onto Jay-Z's music video. body-serious satire that racked up millions of views faster than any official Carter release that month. Behind every meme was a lawyer pacing circles. Beverage sponsors froze, ad buys, fashion houses delayed lookbooks, and a fragrance partner drafted 3 separate press releases: father, not father, and no comment, ready to blast whichever truth hit first. One rumor claimed Jay-Z's team had already seen a leaked data table and were cautiously optimistic, while a rival rumor insisted the leak showed a 99.8% match. Both stories spread like wildfire. Both originated from Twitter eggs created that same morning. The only verifiable fact was a courier's signature list, time-stamped and published by a watchdog blog. Every hand that touched sample #A and #B. Every minute accounted for. Chain of custody airtight. Conspiracy theorists pivoted diff. They couldn't dispute the lab path. They'd question the entire science of genetics. A move so absurd, even the tabloids rolled their eyes. Inside the Carter household, sources whispered about a 3 a.m. strategy call. Brand managers argued for immediate transparency post the result. Own the narrative, while old-school advisors warned against feeding the beast. Beyonce, said one insider, paced silently while lawyers hammered bullet points. Potential defamation. Suits, reputational triage, risk matrices, color-coded like a homeland security chart. Across the river in Trenton, Rymir kept his phone on silent and cleaned out his garage, telling a neighbor who offered sympathy, "Whatever happens, I still gotta take the trash out Thursday." Simplicity has a way of mocking billion-dollar headaches. A full week into the wait, Wall Street Journal ran an op-ed titled "Dynasty DNA: When Private Biology Becomes Public Equity." The writer argued that in an era where influencers monetize every gene from 23andMe ancestry reveals to paid fertility, Journey's expecting hip-hop's first billionaire. Not to disclose a decisive paternity result was like asking Apple to hide its next quarterly report. Stockholders, fans, even the IRS had skin in the game. The column trended, then spawned counter-threads, accusing the media of exploiting black families for clicks. Every point made another point sharpen. Every tweet drew more eyes to the countdown. Nobody could stop. Then came the false ding. A rogue notifications, supposedly from the court docket system, blipped on half a dozen legal blogs, claiming the result had posted. Journalists fired off breathless updates, #exploded, #Jay-Z's son, #confirmed hit 200K tweets in 20 minutes. Court officials denied any filing, servers showed no activity, and the blogs yanked their posts. By sundown, the event had its own nickname: Swab Friday, the day the internet believed a ghost file. The misfire only supercharged anticipation, like a fireworks fuse that spits sparks but refuses to ignite. Finally, at 9:13 a.m. on a fog-soaked Tuesday, the clerk time-stamped the real result and hit send. Lawyers saw it first, then PR teams, then inevitably the world. Whether the page read included or excluded, hip-hop history pivoted in that instant. If positive, a dynasty gained a new branch and a chorus of critics asking how long a secret can masquerade as privacy. If negative, ROC Nation celebrated, but questions lingered about the 15-year shadow dance. Either way, the envelope proved one truth: crowns aren't forged in platinum or platinum records, they're etched in chromosomes, and no amount of silence can bleach DNA.